just hanging out, soaking it up, letting myself feel the vastness, peace, power, everything that this ocean represents. It's nuts. I have needed that power the last year. I've needed Mother Nature's support for everything that's been going on, which I'll share with you guys in this video. Oh well, look who we have here. Now this has been part of the deal the last year. Hi Nancy.
Hi. Who are you talking to?
Luna, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. What an epic year. That right there. Family. That is part of the deal. So I'm going to take you guys on a walk with me. And I'm going to share just a little bit about what's been going on. At the beginning of this year, I released this video. And it was like one of the most watched videos that I ever released. I think it's been seen by like 15,000 people or something now. And in the video, I shared some crazy stuff. I shared the real nitty-gritty of what happens in our lives sometimes and what's going on behind the scenes, and how our whole life and our life's history and our past impacts us in the ways that it impacts us and all these things. And so, there's a good chance you might have seen that video and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I shared. If you didn't watch that video, then, go check it out. It's called What Happened to Jonathan Budd or something like that. It's on my YouTube channel. But, basically, I made that discovery at the end of 2012. It was actually right after I finished launching Futuristic Marketing. We just had, the biggest cash windfall of our lives at that time for my company. And 3 weeks later, this revelation, this all this stuff comes out that was buried and suppressed in me that I never even knew about. And it started this sort of epic healing journey. And to be quite honest, I knew I had to take it on. I knew that I had to take this healing journey on. But at the time, maybe it just felt so large. Maybe it just felt too difficult. I don't know what it was. But for whatever reason, towards the end of 2012, I sort of had this intuition that I really needed to take a year of my life off. Like, I just needed to take a year off. That it was not going to really be possible for me to do the really internal, deep, private work that I needed to do to heal my soul, to come back from some of those experiences. It just wasn't going to be possible for me to really do that sort of in the line of work that I was in, and being so external and so outgoing all the time, always making products and always leading trainings and always making videos and always doing all these things. And this intuition hit me like a freaking lightning bolt that I needed to take a year off. And that thought at the time was inconceivable to me. And the truth is that a large part of what I was motivated by was that very same pain and wounding and insecurity, because I was thinking, but if I take a year off, everybody will forget about me. What will everybody think? It was the classic, what will everybody think? How will I be worthy? How will I be valued in their eyes? How will any of this, how will I be, what if everybody just thinks I'm washed up, or I'm gone, or I'm this, or I'm that? All those fears running through my mind caused me to not take a year off. It caused me to basically, make decisions to go for it, to go for something. And that's actually what led me into Ripplin. I made the decision, well, I've got this opportunity, this thing's going to be huge, and I might as well go for it, right? Because clearly, I wasn't ready to take a year off. I wasn't ready to listen to my intuition, listen to my soul. And I don't regret it at all. It was perfect, absolutely perfect. 2013 was one of the most difficult years of my life ever, because not only underlying everything was this pain, this trauma that I had never processed and dealt with, and still didn't create the space to process and deal with and heal. But then I had possibly the craziest, most difficult business lesson and experience of my life, which was to scale a company to 1 million people in 78 days and then basically have it implode, because there was just too many pieces missing. There was just too many things that weren't in place, that needed to be in place to execute on a vision of that size. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it for a second. I lost a lot of money, and the way I look at it was that I accelerated my MBA. Most people go to Harvard Business School, or most people go to, Stanford. They spend $250,000. It takes them a couple years. They get an MBA, and it's book knowledge. I got a real world MBA in scaling companies and epic lessons that you can't get unless you experience. And I totally see the value of struggle and failure in a way that I never have before. Because the truth was, I never really failed at anything before. I really fucking didn't. Oh, sorry about that. Just being honest. It was almost like, until you really fail at something, you don't know what you don't know. You just don't. And yeah, I struggled at the beginning of network marketing and all that, but that is way different. Struggle is way different than failure, than watching something that is almost you're helpless to control, because of all of these factors, innumerable factors that have to be figured out, that have to be in place in order for something to succeed. It was epic. It was absolutely epic. So anyway, long story short, that year goes by, and it ends up becoming apparent that it's just not the right fit for me, not the right culture fit, not the right, just not the right fit. And there was a lot of issues, and it really wasn't my job to fix them. Truly, it wasn't. And it also wasn't my biggest passion, and it wasn't my biggest vision. It was none of it. So, I made the choice to walk away, and that was a very difficult choice, but it needed to be done. And at that point, I feel like when you need to learn lessons and you don't learn them, the universe hits you upside the head with a 2x4. And 2013 was definitely my 2x4. But heading into 2014, I was a wiser man. And I knew in that moment, here we are over on Stone Steps. This is a walk we take every day. I knew in that moment that I had no choice for 2014. That I had put off something that Spirit was asking me to do. And when you do that, the place that you're coming from oftentimes isn't your natural, authentic self, and you make choices that aren't really from your soul, and they're not really from your highest path. They're lessons. You make choices to learn lessons. And the lessons oftentimes, if we're not conscious of them, are very hard. And so in 2014, I made the choice at the beginning of this year that this year was about nothing for me other than the year of integration. It was a year for me to truly integrate all the stuff that I had been through, my whole life's journey up until this point, the healing, the past, the business lessons and experiences, the true choice of what is my dharma. And dharma is a beautiful concept. It's similar to the West's concept of destiny, except destiny is more of like a personal, it's a personal thing, right? You have an individual destiny. But dharma is really your individual destiny in a greater context as it fits into the whole. What's your purpose as it fits into the whole of life? Your unique contribution that all of life is supporting you to make with the time that you have on this planet. And, you know, the truth is that I had actually been putting off my dharma for years. I've known what it is for years, and I didn't feel ready to do it. And all of this needed to be integrated. And in 2014, I made that choice. I made the choice that this was the year that I integrate. And I don't care what anybody thinks now. It's amazing. I just didn't care. It was just time for me to do what I needed to do. And the truth is that I haven't felt the way that I once felt. I haven't wanted to do the same things that I once did. The passion for things as they were is not there. The passion has shifted. Things have changed. Rather than fighting and resisting that, I needed to embrace that. And what I needed to do was step into, you know, what life was asking from me, what Spirit was asking from me this year. And that's what I did. And it has been probably the most beautiful year of my life. Undoubtedly the most beautiful year of my life. I have done the deepest healing work ever. I can truly say with 100% authenticity that I love myself more than I ever have. That I've gone back and I have dug up things that were scarring me on a level that I didn't even know was impacting me, and healed them, and still am. I'm still doing it, still working through tons of stuff. 2014 is not over yet, and this is the year of integration. So not only that, but I formed the most magical relationship I ever could have imagined, which all of the relationships in our lives are foundations for so much more. I got engaged to the most perfect, beautiful partner I ever could have dreamed up for myself. I had a baby girl who just melts me every day. And you want to talk about freaking purpose? I know all you parents out there know what I'm talking about now. Once you're a parent, you get it. You totally get the meaning of purpose when that little child comes into the world. Everything that I now do has a new meaning. All of this has been taking place, and there's something else that you all don't know. And I haven't felt compelled to share, and I'm still not going to share until the exact right time. But the last 10 months, I've done the most epic work I've ever done of my life. Not just in the realm of my personal empowerment, my healing, and my relationships and my family, but in the realm of business. In fact, as ironic as it is, me being so worried about what everyone thought if I took a year off at the beginning of 2013, I'm now more proud of who I am and the work that I've done in the last 10 months that nobody even knows about. Nobody even knows about it. And I'm more proud of that and feel better about it than anything I've ever done in my life before. That's the irony of when our ego and our pain, is in the command seat. Because the truth is so much more beautiful. And nobody really knows this, but I've been working on something for the last 10 months. I've been working on what is the true purpose of my business existence, why I think I've had every experience I've ever had up to this point, what it's been leading up to. And I am creating what I believe is going to be one of the most iconic, game-changing companies that anyone in our industry or space has ever seen. And I say that out of like the most beautiful place of joy because I know it's true. I just know it's true. And it's not time for me to share it yet. It's not time for me to talk about it yet. But some of the most beautiful work I've ever seen has been taking place behind the scenes, and it's going to impact a lot of people's lives. It's really going to impact a lot of people's lives, and it is really going to make a huge difference on this planet. It is everything I have ever wanted in my life, and I think it will be that for so many more people as well. And so that's what I've been doing. And I just haven't felt the same. I haven't felt the need to talk about it. I haven't felt the need to share it. I haven't felt the need that maybe I once did. And at the absolute perfect time, everything will be revealed. So anyways, my friends, that's what I've been up to. I think that just being honest, my relationship with my past business and with you and everything has changed, and it's just time to acknowledge it. You know, I just don't feel the same that I once felt. I just don't really have the passion for information publishing anymore, really. It doesn't mean that certain aspects about it don't interest me, but you're never really going to see that side of me again. You're not going to see me doing that type of thing a lot. I'll probably share things that I'm interested in. I'll share things that I'm passionate about. I'm certainly not going to forget about you. You mean a lot to me. But our relationship will just change. And I think that, as I share more going forward, it will probably be less frequently, because the truth is my day is filled with all sorts of other types of activities now that aren't conducive to sort of a content training model. To all the people out there building relationship brands and whatnot, that's just not the role I'm in anymore. I mean, just honestly, most of my day has been spent in venture capital, building management teams, orchestrating high-level deals and business and products and media, and it's just a different game. And it's beautiful. It's what needs to occur for me to step into the next level of impact for my life. So, I think about you guys from time to time, and, I want to share these things. I want to share what's really happening in my life, because I think the best way that we learn is by example, right? We learn when we get to watch people do it. And I know that everybody who's watching this in some way, shape, or form, you're committed, right? You're on this path. You're on the path of success. You're on the path of awakening. You're on the path of personal empowerment and personal development and mastering skills, because that's what success demands. You have no other option. That's what it demands of you. All of those aspects of ourselves are interconnected to success, are interconnected to how we perform and how we show up and what we're capable of and what our potential is. There's this inherent potential in every single one of us, and it's our job to bring it out. It's our job to listen to our own psyche and consciousness as it guides us to bring out our full potential. And that shows up in visions, it shows up in ideas, it shows up in people, it shows up in innumerable ways. And I know that that's why we are connected, that I'm meant to play that role in some capacity for whoever I'm meant to play it for. I'm meant to share, the journey that I'm on so that it can inspire others and guide others and give others bits of information and power that they need to look at themselves, to do deep introspective work and make choices that are aligned with the future that you want to create. So there's no doubt about that for me. So I think moving forward, that's what I see. You know, I see sharing whatever I can share from wherever I'm at on the journey now to help you, with the sole purpose that it helps you. And that's really the intention. So, oh man, what an interesting life. It's been an interesting year. And I'm very excited for what's coming next. So the rest of 2014 for me, my friends, is still the year of integration. It's my number one priority. And then you know, just look for some interesting things happening real soon. And at the end of the day, just keep doing what you're doing. Never get off the path. Never stop. Listen to life when it shows up to try to guide you. And even if you don't listen sometimes and you need to be hit over the head with a 2x4, I promise you that as long as you integrate and learn whatever that lesson was, you will be so much wiser and so much better off because of it. Absolutely, unequivocally true. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little personal update. I love you much. That's why I was thinking about you. That's why I wanted to share it. And to our future, my friends. Talk to you later.